Well, hello and thank you for joining me for another ITY video. Today I have with me on my left Rob Malkin, he's Country Manager for Australia and New Zealand of F5 Networks. In the middle we have John DiLullo, Executive Vice President, F5 Networks, and Kuna Nallappan, Regional Director for APAC at, again, F5 Networks. Welcome to the program.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here today.
So I thought I'd start at the beginning, as we always do, and ask if you could please give us a quick appraisal of F5 Networks in 2016 and briefly from each of you some career highlights.
Well, I'll start. FY16 for us is going to be a great year. We just have another 3 or 4 months in the calendar year, then it's off to 17. We can't really remember another year where there's been as much change and as much excitement, as much energy around things like cloud and security.
Digital transformation.
Digital transformation, Internet of Things, and it all seems to be converging, and it's all converging in the segment of the network where we live. So it's an exciting time for us at F5.
Sure. Anyone want to mention anything else?
Yeah, I think I'll just add on to what John said. I think 2016 is going to be an exciting year. I think we are seeing disruption in the marketplace, and I think F5 is really helping customers out there to address the disruption by bringing together the various technologies in the cloud and security area. And I think this disruption is just going to continue, and I think we will continue to see us continuing to help customers address this disruption and in helping them in the transformation journey.
Sure. Now, before we get on to the event we're here at today, Rob, I understand you're a recent appointment to the Country Manager. So if we could just share, just very briefly, some career highlights, just to set the scene, technological scene, before we move on. So I'll start with you, Rob.
So I just became the Managing Director of F5 here in Australia and New Zealand. I've been living in Australia the last 7 years. It's a really exciting time to join F5. This is what, the 4th country I've worked and lived in around the world. So it's been awesome to watch the technology innovation go around the world.
Sure. And before F5 you were?
I was at a company called Autodesk.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah. In fact, I think they're having a conference in the same building today. And John, just briefly, some your career
Well, first of all,
highlights.
I'm really excited to have Rob with us here as well. I was involved in the search process. I think we had 100 people or so that were interested in this position. We sifted and sorted through everybody and came up with Rob, and we're really happy to have him on board. He's been on board a month now. As you can tell, it sounds like he's been here forever. So,
yeah.
Really excited about some of the things he's going to do for us and the energy that he's bringing to the business. Me personally, I've been in networking for as long as I can remember, probably 25 years. Time spent at Aruba, time spent at HP networking, time spent at Cisco, Sonic Wallavia, just about everywhere, and I've seen it all, but I don't ever think I can remember being at a place like F5, which is so central to where all the transformation is happening and where all the business value creation is happening for our customers.
And Kuna, I understand you moonlight as a comedian, but you're in your serious day job. You're also, tell us a little bit about your tech history, just in brief.
Yeah, I think first I'm just to echo what John said. I'm happy that Rob's on board. Finally, Australia's got a strong leader, and I'm very confident he's going to take the business here to the next level. But myself, I've been in F5 for about 8 years, so I've seen F5 transforming, as well as us helping customers transform and help them in their journey towards this transformation in the industry. I'm basically looking at it from a marketing perspective, and happy to be in F5 and helping the company help customers.
Sure. Now, today we're at the Agility 2016 event. You had it on Tuesday in Melbourne and today on the 18th in Sydney. So what is the event about for those who missed it? And what are and we're going to talk a lot about what F5 is doing in Australia and the market, but what are the 3, say, key takeaways you would love your customers to really remember about this event?
Move the hybrid cloud, what's going on in the industry at a global level, and who F5 is besides the way they know us today.
Sure. Anyone else want to cover anything?
Yeah, just to add on to what Rob said, I think the whole event is definitely about the trends, the emerging trends in the industry. And I think it's also an event where I think we can we provide our customers with the insights to what we can do to help them along their journey of transformation. And as I said, it's a journey that F5 can take alongside our customers. And this event is just the beginning of the journey that we take with the customers.
Yeah, there's other huge value, and we have hundreds of customers that all get together, share stories, successes, things they're doing in the market, emerging trends that they're seeing, and our customers just love coming together like this.
Absolutely. Well, partner and customer conferences usually are very popular.
To take it one step further, though, there's 8 agilities this year, and we're very fortunate to have 2 of those
in Australia.
One in Melbourne on Tuesday, which is a great event, a lot of excitement, lots of inquiry about what's going on in the global industry. And then today in Sydney, you can say packed house. We had to bring more rows of chairs into the back.
Excellent.
To standing room only.
Excellent. So, can you please describe your position in the Australian technology market and share who some of your key customers are and where you see the main growth areas for the company?
Well, in Australia and New Zealand market, we actually have 10 out of 10 banks,
Mm-hmm.
18 out of 20 of the universities locally,
Mhm.
and 10 out of 10 of the telecom providers in Australia and New Zealand. So we are primed, we are market leader in what we do, and we have the best customers that are setting, probably expanding beyond the capacity of what they know today to transform their business for tomorrow, and we're right there along with them on the journey.
Yeah, so often we see the Australian market really get out there ahead on the adoption of new technologies as well. I'm as excited as I am about how well we've done in the past.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to fast forward 2 years and make sure that we've done everything we can to capture that next wave of customers,
Sure.
because it'll be a harbinger for how we're going to succeed in the rest of the world.
Absolutely. And so, how would you say that you best differentiate yourself from what must be fierce competition out there?
Well, there's not, there's a lot of competition, there always is, and customers are looking at different ways to do it. We are number one in our industry, we're number one in most of the segments that we address. It took us 16 years to get there, and it's a franchise that we work hard to protect. So we focus a lot more time on the customers probably than on the competitors.
Sure.
And I think if
Yeah.
we continue to do it that way, we're going to continue to see success.
Well, that's it.
And the other thing is, we really invest not only in the people that we have here in the ANZ market, but
Mhm.
making sure we have cities covered. And then out of our Auckland center, we have one of the only, a large global support center, which has some of the highest customer satisfactions around the world. So we provide coverage where our customers are,
Mhm.
where the customers deploy, and where they buy. And at the same time, we're there in the same time zone to help support any issues they need resolution on.
Sure. And, things like hybrid cloud have been buzzwords for the past 2 or 3 years. This year the big buzzword is, besides still being hybrid cloud, it's digital transformation. And, a lot of these things have been around for some time, and a lot of companies are trying to help businesses deal with these. So the question is, what are the challenges in 2016 that your customers are currently facing that you are helping them with? Obviously with all the products and services that you're offering, but what are those challenges encapsulated into a few words?
I think some of the biggest challenges are just the newness of a lot of what we're working on. A lot of the standards that are emerging are new. A lot of the players, a lot of the providers, a lot of the different people that are providing the building blocks and the technology. It's new.
I guess also you've got the new versions of your software which enable things that just you couldn't do in previous versions that people are digesting and implementing and benefiting from.
And those are changing every day. The new standards are emerging in things like SDN and NFV, and microservices is a giant new, it's not that new, but
Sure.
it's a giant new field as far as the standards, all of the different open compute standards,
Internet of
like
Things.
HA proxy, it's very exciting. What it's going to enable is exciting, but it always does require a little energy, and you have to make sure that your product is totally complete. We think we're unique in that we have so many customers, and we participate in so many different forums and with so many different open standards that we're going to have a front row seat to all of these new integrations and be able to have a complete product faster than anyone else.
And with so many customers, so I keep hitting my name tag here, which is making this funny noise, I'll take it off. But with so many customers, you must have come across pretty much every scenario you can think of. If someone comes to you with a particularly challenging one, you've probably already dealt with it.
Just when you think you have, there's customers that redefine what they're doing things, and you continue to learn.
Yeah.
And that's a fantastic approach,
It
because that
is.
actually forces us to enable a thought process that may be different than what we had in the past, and adapt to what's going on in the future.
I think just to add on to that,
Please.
I think what we have seen across our experience with different customers, every customer that we meet has a common denominator of challenge that they need to face. A is a shrinking budget that they have to deal with from an IT perspective. B, with the shrinking budgets, they have to be more agile.
Yeah.
And we see that the cloud has offered a platform where they can actually leverage it as a platform, as well as to cater to the shrinking budgets. And I think what we've seen is as customers move to cloud to leverage it to take into account and address the disruption they face, we tend to play a vital role in that whole transformation.
And on the topic of transformation, it's
Yeah.
not just about TCO and saving money. 80% of our customers that make the move to hybrid cloud experience some new functionality that they never had in their network before. So we're not only building a TCO case, we are helping the businesses to become more productive, more efficient, more effective.
Sure, absolutely. And then of course security is a massive issue. We've heard of all sorts of hacks and hack attacks, and so what are your customers asking for, and what is the new security posture on the application level in the face of all of these advanced cybersecurity threats?
Well, we're focused in a couple of areas. There's a huge race, it seems, to just buy more and more firewalls and to put those in. In some cases, our customers are spending 90% of their security budget on firewalls, protecting a traditional perimeter.
Sure, but I mean, it's all about knowing that people are going to get in inevitably, no matter how many files, and it's dealing with those incursions.
Exactly. I mean, the reality is the hackers only need to find one way in. We need to protect against them all. So we're really driving an identity and access management strategy where we're perfecting the people's with the users' identities, credentials, and their profile, their ability to access different types of services, and then at the same time providing a great our product. Just because of where we sit in the network, we are the last line of defense in helping to bridge, maintain, monitor access to the precious assets and to the data infrastructure.
So sorry, this is a silly question, but is F5 doing identity management?
We work together with a collection of different partners, companies like Ping and Okta. They do a lot of the credentialing, but we definitely do all the access and enforcement. We have some great single sign-on solutions. We partner, we build, we have everything that people need.
Anyone else want to comment on security?
I think just wanted to comment on security. I think what's happening is that with customers going hybrid, a lot of workloads are actually moving to the cloud. And I think what's really important for the customer is really the data that sits behind the application. And the apps, the apps are becoming the doorway to the data, and protecting the app is becoming more of a critical issue than just protecting the network.
Absolutely.
So as John said, a lot of spending is being done in the network, protecting the network. But in essence, as you move apps out to the cloud, it's really about protecting the app wherever it lives, whether it's on-premise or in the cloud, and the data behind the app. And that's where I think enterprises need to rethink their security posture to really see how are they going to protect the applications as well as the access to those applications, because the access to those applications are also coming from a myriad of devices. Could be mobile, could be smartphones. So those parameters are really making the app the last parameter.
I would just add, expect more from F5 locally in the NZ market about security in the near future.
Sure. And I mean, I can see the tagline behind you. It's cut off there because we've got the F5 logo, but I think it's a solutions for an application world. Are you actually helping your customers create apps to digitally transform the business, the way they are interacting with customers, or do you not play in that space?
I think people look at the capabilities that we offer, and it actually inspires them and gives them inspiration for new apps that they can create. We don't need to stimulate them much beyond that, but if you look at most of the commercial apps that are out in the marketplace now, our fingerprints are on those in some way or another.
Sure. No, because I mean, companies are creating apps, they're digitally transforming, they're approaching all sorts of companies to say, help us go to the next level. We need to disrupt ourselves before our competitors or some upstart disrupts us. I mean, that's cliched now, that's everyone sort of knows about that, and yet we still live in an era where there are companies who haven't disrupted themselves, and they know it's coming, and they need the help from companies like yourselves to sort of prepare themselves for that. I mean, have you had discussions with your customers around this whole disruption thing?
I think most of our customers get it. They see the incredible compression in the innovation cycle, and where things used to, you could do a 2 or 3 year implementation and then leverage an application for 5 to 10 years. Now, I heard earlier today that the average application only lives for 2 or 3 years. So you don't really have 2 or 3 years to invest in creating it. Things need to move very, very quickly.
Well, I mean, if you've got your app created, you need to have another team working on that app's successor.
Before you probably even released it. That's probably true.
So, look, I have 3 questions I always finish off on, but is there anything else about your customers, the event, the Australian market and the global market that you might want to mention whilst we're in front of the talking?
The local market, I mean, the events have been fantastic. Customers come, they're enthusiastic, they're asking great questions. Australia, New Zealand market is always a world leader in the adoption of new technology, but also they want to know what's going on locally. And because of F5's global coverage, we have people in more than 32 countries, and we sell into more than 100. We can get, if we don't know the question locally the customer's asking, we can find out overnight about what's going on in a trend in an industry in a different country. So, locally, it's a great time to be at F5 and having agility.
You must have other parts of the F5 world coming to you.
Yeah, absolutely. Saying, hey. We push the boundaries before anybody else, and what we learn, we share.
Yeah, absolutely.
I just want to say thanks to everyone that attended, and we were actually oversubscribed for this event. So some people that weren't able to participate, next year we'll have a bigger venue, we'll have more seating.
Are these sessions being recorded so they can be streamed afterwards?
No, they're not. That's another thing that will improve in the
Sure.
future.
Well, just for those customers next year.
Didn't really expect quite the demand.
But that's good. That's
yeah,
excellent.
it's
Yeah.
Fantastic time.
Yeah. And Kuna, anything from you?
Yeah, I think we'll continue to hold such great events to educate our customers as well as to point them in the right direction. I think, as Rob said, Australia is definitely leading the fray, and I think as a region, Asia Pacific region is really, I would say, daringly leading the world in terms of disruption and having the ability to leapfrog into the next area of technology, having learned from the other parts of the world. And I think F5 will be right there to help them, and through such events, we see this as a platform to enable our customers to make the transition.
Well, we've only got a few minutes left, so last three questions, and I start off with the future. And whoever wants to answer, how do you think the market will be looking in over the next 5 to 10 years? I know anything could happen, but if you look in the crystal ball, what do you see?
Well, I don't think the need for security and a real excellent security posture is going to change. That's going to continue to be a concern of the modern application builder. And then I also think that the cloud is clearly here to stay. We really do believe if there's 150 million workloads out there in the enterprise today, we believe there's going to be 400 or 500 million in 10 years from now, and we believe that most of the new ones are going to end up in the cloud. And so that's where our focus is. That's where our attention is.
And I think from my end, just to add on, I think the new world order from 2016 to the next 5 years, I see information growing in importance and information being pervasive. And that's going to be really driven by Internet of Things, which is going to create a world where information is going to flow multi-directionally.
A tsunami of data.
A tsunami of data, and the world as a whole, not just enterprises, governments alike, have to find a way to handle this tsunami of data and the traffic
best
that's
make
going
use of it.
and make use of it, and really find intelligence buried within the data. And I think always being in front of apps all the time, we are in a place where I think we can make sense of the data that's flowing. And I think that's a future that I'm seeing.
Any thoughts from you, Rob?
No, I mean, the Internet of Things, as Kuna said, is going to change everything. I've been involved in it heavily for the last couple of years. And it's not just the data, but if you're a consumer of the data from the IoT things, you can also benefit from it because of the services that the IoT applications are going to do. And again, if services are a new revenue stream for companies and they're creating more apps, F5 is going to be there to secure your apps for you.
And so my second last question is taken from inspiration by Aston Kutcher, suggesting that an awesome question to ask people is to please share the best piece of advice you've ever received to help you get where you are today.
So I'll make it local. So 7 years ago when I arrived here, I went down to try to learn to surf, and there had been some sharks the day before, and I turned to this guy and I said, well, what do you do? And he goes, you swim faster than me.
Yeah, that's
If
it.
the shark's in the water.
That's it. It's like if you two runners encounter a bear in the forest, you just make sure you run faster than the other
That's
guy.
exactly it. So when I'm out there surfing each morning or trying to surf,
Yeah.
I know as long as I'm faster than the guy next to me, I'm going to survive.
That's it. And John?
I guess my father always told me, you've got 2 ears and 1 mouth, so listen twice as much as you speak, and that's one of the things that served me well, and that's one of the things we're doing here in ANZ this week is trying to listen, absorb, understand where the market is going so that we can be responsive.
Sure. And Kuna?
Yeah, I think one of the biggest things I've taken back is from the founding father of Singapore, Lee Kuan Yew, who said his famous words, if you have an issue, confront the issue.
Yeah.
Don't keep it under the table. And I think that's very relevant as it comes to the world of disruption. I think we can't run away from it, but the only choice is to confront it. And I think I'm happy that we are there confronting it together with the customer, so at least they are not alone.
Yeah. And so what are your final messages for ITY viewers and readers and for your current and future customers?
Well, I'd say, just like I said, listening and reading.
Yeah.
Reading is important, and good knowledge and information comes to us from lots of different sources, such as IT Wire. And I would say just keep those eyes, keep the aperture that you take all the data in wide, so that we can all make good decisions together. And this is one of those publications that I think can really help.
Sure. Rob?
I think John summed it up perfectly.
Yeah. And Kuna?
Yeah, only thing I would add is to, like I said, face the issue and confront it.
Well, Rob, John, and Kuna, thank you very much for your time. Best of luck with the rest of the conference, and I hope to talk to you again soon.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.